Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Hope you all are doing good. Today we will learn English from this easy story. This story will help you improve your English and understand new words. So listen carefully and enjoy the story. Today we are going to talk about one of the biggest mysteries in the entire world. Somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, there is a stretch of water that has scared sailors, pilots, and even scientists for almost 100 years. Ships have entered this area and vanished. Planes have flown into it and disappeared. Many of them were never found again. This is the story of the Bermuda Triangle. This area is not marked as an official triangle on any real map. It is simply a name people gave to a large region of ocean. It lies between 3 points. The first point is Miami, in Florida. The second point is the island of Bermuda. The third point is Puerto Rico. If you draw lines connecting these 3 places, you get a rough triangle shape, and that is where the name comes from. This region covers a massive area of ocean, about 500,000 square miles. There is no official border, because the triangle exists mostly in stories and in books. But even though it has no official shape, something strange does seem to happen here. Over many decades, dozens of ships and planes have disappeared inside this area. The mystery did not appear overnight. It grew slowly, from strange stories that happened over hundreds of years. Some people say the story begins with Christopher Columbus. In 1492, while sailing across the Atlantic Ocean, Columbus wrote in his ship's log about strange lights in the sky at night. He also wrote that his compass was acting strangely. A compass is the tool sailors use to find direction. If it fails, a ship can easily become lost at sea. For centuries, sailors told stories about this dangerous stretch of water. But the world truly began to notice in the 20th century. One of the earliest and most famous disappearances happened in March 1918. A large United States Navy ship called the USS Cyclops left the island of Barbados. It was heading toward Baltimore. This was not a small boat. It was more than 500 feet long, and it carried over 300 people on board. The ship never arrived. No distress signal was ever sent. No storm was reported in the area at that time. No wreckage was ever found. No bodies were ever recovered. The entire ship, along with everyone on it, simply vanished. To this day, it remains one of the largest unsolved mysteries in the history of the United States Navy. After the Cyclops, more strange stories began to appear. In 1925, a cargo ship called the SS Cotopaxi left South Carolina, heading toward Cuba. It sent a message saying it was taking on water and in serious trouble. After that message, it was never heard from again. For decades, no wreckage was found. Then in 2015, a shipwreck was found off the coast of Florida. Scientists confirmed it was very likely the long-lost Cotopaxi. By the middle of the 20th century, newspapers wrote dramatic stories about this dangerous ocean. They gave it nicknames like the Graveyard of the Atlantic. In 1964, a writer named Vincent Gaddis first used the name Bermuda Triangle in a magazine article. After that, books were written. Documentaries were filmed. Very quickly, the Bermuda Triangle became one of the most famous mysteries on the planet. But the single case that made the Bermuda Triangle famous around the entire world happened on December 5, 1945. 5 United States Navy bomber planes took off from a base in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This group of planes was called Flight 19. The mission was simple. It was a normal training flight. The pilots were supposed to fly out over the ocean, complete some exercises, and then return safely to base. There were 14 men on board these 5 planes. The lead pilot was an experienced flight instructor. The other pilots were mostly trainees. At first, everything seemed completely normal. But after some time, something started to go wrong. The lead pilot of Flight 19 began sending confusing radio messages back to base. He said his compass was not working correctly. He said he did not recognize the ocean below him, even though he had flown in this area many times before. He said everything around him looked strange and wrong. As time passed, the messages became more worried. The pilot seemed completely lost. One pilot said, "We cannot see land, everything looks different." Then suddenly, all radio contact was lost. All 5 planes, along with all 14 men on board, vanished without a single trace. Naval officer sent out a large rescue plane to search for Flight 19. This rescue plane carried 13 men on board. It was called a Martin Mariner. These planes were known to have problems with fuel leaks. This rescue plane also disappeared. No wreckage from any of the 6 planes was ever found. Not one single piece of metal and not one single body was ever recovered. In total, 27 men vanished that single night. The search continued for 5 days. Hundreds of ships and planes looked for them, but they found nothing. This event shocked the entire United States. Newspapers wrote about it every single day. This mysterious event became the foundation of the entire Bermuda Triangle legend. After Flight 19, other strange stories continued to happen in this area. In 1948, a passenger plane called Star Tiger disappeared while flying from the Azores toward Bermuda. 31 people were on board. The weather was good. The plane was working fine. The pilot sent a message saying, "All is well." Just 20 minutes later, the plane vanished from the radar. No wreckage was ever found. No distress call was ever sent. Just 1 year later, in 1949, another plane called Star Ariel disappeared in almost the exact same area. This plane also had 20 people on board. It sent one last message, saying everything was normal. The weather was perfect. Then it disappeared too. Again, no wreckage was ever located. 2 planes from the same company, disappearing in the same place, just 1 year apart. In 1963, a large ship called the SS Marine Sulphur Queen also disappeared without warning. This ship was carrying sulfur. It left Texas and was going to Virginia. The ship was 425 feet long. A small amount of debris was found, but the ship itself was never located. 15 men were on board. The ocean was calm that day. In 1970, a sailboat called Witchcraft disappeared near Miami. The captain called for help and said everything was fine. He said his engine had stopped. A rescue boat came to help within 20 minutes. But when they arrived, the Witchcraft was gone. The ocean was calm. There was no sign of any accident. The captain and one other person were never seen again. In 1972, A cargo ship called Anita disappeared. It was 366 feet long. 32 people were on board. It sent no distress signal. It simply vanished while traveling through the Bermuda Triangle area. In 1980, a ship called the SS Poet also disappeared. It was carrying corn. 26 crew members were on board. The last message said the weather was bad, but not dangerous. After that, nothing. Some pilots and sailors survived frightening experiences here. Their stories make this mystery even more interesting. Captain Robert Brunning was sailing his boat in 1967. He said a strange cloud came down from the sky. It was shaped like a tunnel. Inside the tunnel, his compass went crazy. His radio stopped working. After 10 minutes, the cloud was gone, and everything was normal again. Pilot Bruce Jernon said in 1970 that he flew through a strange cloud. He said time felt different inside the cloud. When he came out, he had saved 30 minutes of flight time. Scientists could not explain it. Other sailors described strange fog appearing suddenly out of nowhere. They said this fog was different. It was very thick and white. Inside the fog, their radio and instruments stopped working. Some said the fog smelled like electricity. Some people even described strange lights glowing beneath the ocean's surface at night. They said the water looked like it was glowing blue or green. One sailor said he saw a bright light come out of the water and go into the sky. One pilot said he saw a circle of white clouds in the sky. Inside the circle, the water looked very calm, but outside it, the waves were huge. Now let us look at the possible explanations behind this mystery. Scientists have studied this area for many years. The first theory is about methane gas. Methane is a natural gas found trapped beneath the ocean floor. Scientists believe that large amounts of this gas can suddenly escape and rise upward through the water in a massive bubble. Imagine a giant bubble of gas as big as a building. If a large amount of gas rises beneath a ship, it can make the water much lighter. The water may no longer be able to support the weight of a ship. In simple terms, a ship could sink very quickly, almost as if the ocean had disappeared beneath it. Some scientists believe this could also affect planes flying close to the ocean. The gas could affect the engine and make the plane lose power. Scientists tested this in labs, and it worked. But this theory has one major weakness. Scientists have not found solid proof that a methane eruption happened at the exact time of any of these disappearances. The second theory is about rogue waves. Rogue waves are very big waves that appear suddenly in the ocean. They can be 3 times higher than normal waves. Some rogue waves are 100 feet tall. A rogue wave can hit a ship and break it into 2 pieces in just a few seconds. The Bermuda Triangle is in an area where different ocean currents meet. This can create very dangerous waves. The third theory is about the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream is a very strong ocean current. It moves very fast and can change direction quickly. It is like a river inside the ocean. If a small plane or boat has an accident, the Gulf Stream can take the wreckage very far away in just a few hours. This is why it is so hard to find anything after an accident. The fourth theory is about magnetic fields. Some people believe the Bermuda Triangle has a strange magnetic field. This field can make compasses stop working. But scientists say this is not true. Compasses can act strange in many parts of the world. Pilots and sailors are trained to use other tools if the compass fails. The truth is, there is nothing special about the magnetic field here. The fifth theory is about underwater earthquakes. The ocean floor in this area has many mountains and valleys. Sometimes there are small earthquakes underwater. These can create big waves and disturb ships. The sixth theory is the simplest one: human error and dangerous weather. The Bermuda Triangle sits in a region famous for sudden and violent storms. Powerful hurricanes regularly pass through this area. The weather can change from calm to dangerous in just a few minutes. Pilots can become lost because there are no landmarks in the ocean. In the case of Flight 19, investigators said the lead pilot may have simply become lost while flying over open water with no landmarks. The pilot was new to this area. He thought he was flying over the Florida Keys, but he was actually far away. Once a pilot becomes confused above open ocean, especially when fuel is low and it is getting dark, a small mistake can become a big problem. Investigators also said the rescue plane was a type of aircraft known to have fuel problems. Both the United States Navy and the United States Coast Guard have investigated the Bermuda Triangle. They looked at 100 years of data. Their conclusion is surprising. The number of disappearances here is not higher than in any other busy part of the ocean. The Bermuda Triangle sits on extremely busy shipping and flying routes. Every year, thousands of ships and planes pass safely through this area. Because of this heavy traffic, some accidents are expected to happen here. Think about it like this. If you drive a car every day on a busy road, the chance of an accident is higher than on a small village road. The United States Coast Guard has officially said they do not see the Bermuda Triangle as an area of unusual danger. Insurance companies also do not charge extra money for ships that go through this area. If it was really dangerous, insurance would be very expensive. So why does this legend continue to fascinate people? The simple answer is this: humans love a good mystery story. Once writers connected these separate events together, the story became impossible to forget. Books, movies, and documentaries made these stories even more exciting. It is also worth remembering that some stories have been exaggerated over time. For example, some writers said Flight 19 disappeared on a calm day. But official weather reports show the ocean was rough that day. Some writers also said many more ships disappeared than actually did. Today, technology is much better. We have GPS, better radios, and better weather reports. Because of this, accidents have become much less common. Pilots can now know their exact location every second. So what is the real truth? Is it a mysterious, supernatural area? Or is it simply a busy and sometimes dangerous stretch of ocean where storms and human error cause accidents? Based on official investigations, most scientists today believe the second answer. However, the full truth may never be known because so many ships and planes were never found. What we do know for certain is this: real people lost their lives in this region. Real families were left with painful questions. And this combination of human tragedy and deep mystery is what makes the story of the Bermuda Triangle so fascinating, even today. What do you personally think happened here? Do you believe it is something truly mysterious, or simply storms and heavy ocean traffic? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing mysteries and true stories. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the very next video.